From the News Channel 5 Network, this is MorningLine with Nick Barris.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us on MorningLine. Nick Barris here with you on this Wednesday. And look, don't head out. The storms are going to come later. You can relax this morning and you can join in the conversation. We do have a very important topic. You know, on this program, I don't know, over the past several weeks, we've talked quite a bit about the high cost of living here in Middle Tennessee area. Certainly the cost of housing, which is to the point where it's out of control. And the side effects that come out of that, among other things, you know, homelessness and the issue there. A lot of people end up homeless for a variety of reasons, and they need help. And there is help out there, as we've talked about, for various groups. And one I think, segment of the population we want to do what we can to especially help are those homeless veterans. And there are many of them living among us. One way or the other, they end up homeless for a variety of reasons there, but there is help for them. And that's what we're going to talk about today. If you'd like to join in the conversation, we'll get the phone number up. If you have a question about yourself or someone you know, you see the number on the screen, 737-7587. We're going to talk with two guests with us this morning from the Veteran Administration's Homelessness Program. That's pretty exciting. Thank you both for coming on. We have two Amandas here. We have Amanda Swam and we have Amanda Dobbs. Thank you for coming on, guys. Appreciate it. You're both out of Rutherford County, is that correct? Of course, the big VA there, right?
Yeah, we work, like I said, several counties. We cover some rural areas as well, but we're all connected to TVHS. Okay. So the central main VA. So
you see, then, for the region in general, maybe we can start broad and we'll get more specific as we go down to how big of a problem is it? And has it changed worse? Has it gotten some better with regard to homeless veterans? And take turns.
So I've been in the program, or with the VA, for 10 years, in the homeless program for 8. And I have never experienced anything like this.
It's gotten that much worse just within the past nearly decade.
I think an example would be within the last 2 years ago, we housed almost 40 veterans. And that doesn't, I mean, that's housing them. We have more that we carry already. All right. So we housed all new veterans of 40. The year after that, it was 35 or approximately. This year, we have housed 1. And if we continue on this path, we'll house 4 or 5 veterans, and it's housing.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
I was just going to add to that. So just to give you kind of numbers-wise, per quarter, if you're averaging out, we're down 86% on housing veterans than we were last year.
Okay, so wait, what do you mean down 80 in housing veterans? Meaning places to place them?
Yes.
How many veterans we've been able to house.
Okay, so what you're saying is, first then, tell me, how many veterans need housing?
So I estimated this the other day. I mean, to give you an exact number, we can't do that. Okay. Because
you don't have, it's hard to get a count on.
Yeah, you can't. So let's say today we have 20 on an interest list. We have 20 that have to be rehoused at minimum. We actually just found out a couple of days ago there's another property that is no longer going to be working with HUD. And so that's
housing
40.
and urban development. Okay.
And we have 10 right now that are searching. So right there alone today is 60.
Okay. So that's where, because at first when you said the numbers, I wanted to be clear. There is a great number of veterans that need housing and need help. Right. What you're saying is, in this marketplace right now, the available places for lodging are just diminishing fast. Where are they going? Is it just that they're realizing, you know, we can make more money doing something else, or what's happening to these properties?
I think my perspective is that it's just, I mean, you can't hardly buy a home anymore. Right. I mean, working
so what were these homes? What were these, the ones that have vanished? Or I guess what you're saying is that you have veterans that have been placed, and then you need more for more veterans that come in, and there's you can't find it.
Not essentially the affordable housing is going away. Okay. So landlords, we have new owners coming in and buying up properties, raising the rent above what a voucher could potentially cover for the area.
Sure.
And we have more and more of that happening, or veterans who have been renting homes and the owner of the home is now selling because they can get a higher price for their home. You know, just simply making a decision for themselves and their families, but the veteran who was renting might have to be out.
Sure.
So we're seeing more of that.
And that is a symptom for all types of people looking. Okay, of course we know there are special needs sometimes with some of these veterans who have come back or suffering from PTSD or other things and need help beyond that.
Sure.
So, okay, the properties when they're not available and there's these veterans that you just talked about that are looking, what do they do in the meantime? Where are these folks? Are they staying with family? Where do they stay?
It's a mix. We have
Or they're living homeless in some of these encampments in a tent somewhere.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I have one right now. He's in the back of Walmart. He's got his little sleeping bag and stuff like that, and that's where he sleeps. We have a Salvation Army. It's typically full. We have the Nashville Mission that we can, and we have our transitional housing program, which is pretty full right now too. But we do have, the VA does have a few programs to offer them, but all those are transition or temporary.
Yeah.
And at the rate that we're going, this is going to be catastrophic.
Okay, right, go ahead.
Yeah, and I was just going to say, it really depends on the veteran's comfort level where they might be staying, because some people find it hard to be around a bunch of people they don't know and don't trust. Therefore, going into a large shelter might be traumatic for them.
Right.
So some may choose to stay outside, stay safely outside, and we ensure that they have their basic needs are being met in terms of food, water, making sure that they're checking in with health care, things like that. But it really just depends on where the veteran wants to go, because there are some options, but again, it's up to their comfort level where they stay in the meantime.
Right. Can you talk a little bit then, about, I guess you touched on it there, some of the special circumstances or perhaps needs that some of these veterans may need based on their service and what they come back with. Maybe being around large crowds can be difficult for some of them. What other things? I mean, how would you say a homeless veteran differs from someone else who's homeless?
I don't know
difference?
that you can separate homeless from me.
Okay.
I mean,
could be anyone.
It could be. I'm one step away from being homeless, right? Aren't we all?
Right.
To taking a path or going down a different road. I mean, I think any of us can end up homeless. It doesn't. We can have to have open heart surgery. I had a veteran had open heart surgery, couldn't work anymore. He ended up homeless.
Yeah.
I mean, it can happen to any of us at any place. I don't think it necessarily they separate from me and you.
Part of the deal, though, you think about for our veterans, men and women who serve this country, is that they come back and they're going to have help. Okay, because of what they've gone through. And part of the deal is when you come back, we're going to assist you to get back on your feet, maybe, because you do go through certain things. I could be homeless the next day if something goes wrong with me, but I have not been in combat, okay? I don't know what kind of things maybe that affect me when I come back to society after that. These veterans deserve and need to have, that's what's particularly disturbing to me. I hate to see anyone homeless, but especially a veteran, because part of the deal should have been for them when they come back, they don't end up sleeping in a tent behind Walmart. That's a problem for anyone, but it's a problem in my mind, especially for a veteran, where part of the deal was they should have had help when they got back here.
Well, I have to interrupt. There's lots and lots of help. The VA has wraparound services. We have a PTSD clinic. We have our BHIP program. We have lots and lots of treatment options for veterans when they come back. Ultimately, self-determination and whether they want to be in a tent behind Walmart.
Well, but the other part, and it's outside of your control and theirs as well, and I guess that's where it's going to. And my point was that it's a shame because they need that help, but it's beyond anyone's control what's happening with this housing market right now.
And
that's what I'm saying, is it's no one's fault to that point, because you're right, there's treatment out there, and maybe some veterans choose, but I think most, if given their druthers, would like to have a roof over their head.
Absolutely.
But it's out of everyone's control to a degree. I don't know what the options are when we have this housing market that is such that all these affordable places are disappearing.
Well, I think that's where our city and community have to pull in.
Yeah, right, exactly.
This is the responsibility of our communities. You know, Tennessee has always gathered around each other and been a city of love, I feel like, or the mid-Tennessee. I really feel that way. And I am hoping with this getting out and people starting to recognize the significant issues, that this is systemic. It needs to come back to there. Me and you you know, and the VA can only do so much. We can give the vouchers.
Right.
You know, we
Typically,
can
how
offer,
much is a voucher? I mean, before the market got to the point it was, would it help pay for a monthly rent of several $100s, or how does that work?
Oh, it's based on your income.
Okay.
There, typically for each area, there will be kind of an amount that's near fair market rent. The voucher can cover up to that, and it just depends on the veteran's income, how much their portion of that rent will be. And there are sensitive issues with veterans becoming homeless, and that's why we're on here today, is because we feel the same as you, and I'm sure most of the community, that veterans answered the call to serve, and I feel as though it's our community's turn to answer the call to help them be housed. So that's why we're trying to get this message out there.
Get the message out, but again, as I said, it's not like someone saying, well, I'm not going to, it's just the marketplace and the economics and all of that, but that's where the city and the community has to, there's a lot more we can talk about, including some of the help that is out there right now. And so we'll take a break. The number 737-7587 if you have a question or comment, but when we come back, we'll get into more of the details there, as well as some of the help that's there and the hope for some of these veterans as well. Right after this, stay with us.